In this video, we're going to talk about how to say just now, something happened, how to say again in the past, and how to talk about two things happening at the same time. Let's jump in! Alright, so here we're going to talk about just now. 刚才 is a time word about when something, referring to when something happened, just like 明天 or 今天 or 昨天. It means just now or moments ago. And so it's a time word. Where do time words go? Before the subject or between the subject and the verb, right after the subject. So here are a couple examples. They're fairly straightforward. 咱们, do you remember that one? I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it before. It means we, but it's different from 我们 in the sense that 咱们 always includes the listener, where 我们 sometimes does not include the listener. So anyway, if you don't remember that, think about that. And hopefully it'll stick with you. 咱们刚才看到了一只老鹰. So 咱们 we, meaning you, we, me, us, me and you, or us and you. 咱们刚才 just now 看到了一只老鹰. So just now 看到了一只老鹰. We just now saw an eagle. 老鹰 means eagle. 一只, this is the measure word for birds. 一只老鹰, eagle. So 看到了, 看到, remember, 看 is to see, 到 is a completion, is a result complement, which means that the seeing has happened. Not just looking, but seeing has happened. So 咱们刚才, we, 刚才 just now, 看到了, saw an eagle. All right, here we have a question. 你刚才在干什么? You, just now, 在干什么? 在, 干 means to do. So this means, what were you doing just now? 你刚才在干什么? So 在 makes the verb in process. It's continuing to happen. It's happening. 你刚才, you just now, 在. That makes the verb continuing, continuous action. 在干什么? What were you doing just now? What were you in the process of doing just now? And the third example, 刚才你去哪儿了? So 刚才, now it's before the subject, which is fine. Now we're focusing more on where did you go? So 刚才, just now, 你去 go 哪儿 where 了. That's completion. Where were you? Where did you go just now? 刚才你去哪儿了? So there is 刚才. I wanted to mention there's another word that is 刚 by itself that is slightly different from 刚才. Sometimes they're interchangeable, meaning just, but it's an adverb, and it's not a time word in the sense that, like 明天, it means it's an adverb that goes right before the verb, always, that is like saying just. So it's kind of like the difference between just and just now. I just saw him. I just now saw him. It's fairly similar. That can be a helpful distinction. Sometimes they're interchangeable. Sometimes they have key differences. At the end of HSK 3, I do a whole video, or I think a segment of a video, where I compare gang and gāngcái side by side. Now we're going to talk about how to say again, something happening again in the past. It is 又, and the basic structure is subject, 又, verb, 了. So, interestingly, Chinese has two different ways to say again, or another time, and 在 is usually used for the future. So we learned that one before. It's something happening again in the future. This sentence is 请你再说一遍. 请你再说一遍. Please, 再说, again say, another time. 请你再说一遍. So that's 在, that's again in the future. But when you're talking about again in the past, you use a different word, 又. And because it's in the past, it's usually combined with 了. So here's a couple examples of that. 我们又去了一次. 我们 we 又 again. 去了 went. 一次 one time. We went another time. 我们又去了一次, or we went again. 你又迟到了。你又迟到了。You, again, 迟到了。迟到 means to arrive late, to be late. 你又迟到了。You're late again? Or you're I guess not a question. You're late again. 你又迟到了。This one, so it's pretty straightforward. And now I want to talk about if you want to make it negative, of course you use 不, which means no or may or didn't have not. And you take away the la in these examples. So let me, because you don't use la with yo, with may or mayo anyway. 你又没准时到. So this is saying the same thing as this sentence. You're late again. But this is saying 你又, you again, may, did not, or have not, 准时到, arrive on time. 准时 means arrive on time. You have not arrived again. You have not arrived on time again. 你又没准时到. So that's may. Here's an example with 不. 你又不参加. 你又不参加. It means you again are not. 参加 means to participate. You're not taking part again. And this is sort of like an incredulous question. So, and this is from All Set Learning. I want to point out, in case you're thinking, this isn't exactly past, Eldon. 你又不参加. And it's also not future. Like you're not participating again, or you're not going to. Well, I guess it is. It could be future. You're not going to participate again, or you're not participating again. But the thing is, here's the thing, is that while the participation may be future or present, what this yo here focuses on is that this situation, this is happening again. It's come around again. You didn't participate before, and now you're not going to participate again. Does that make sense? So it's not just the participation happening again. It's that you are choosing, or it is happening that again you are not participating. So there we have it. That's why it's 不 and not 在. That is. Oh, I wanted to point out that kind of in the same theme where it's not exactly past anymore. There's we can talk about something being something about a state of being that has come around again, just like this example, basically. You can use la with this to say that it's come around again. It's often combined with words like 可以, to can or may, 要, what will or want to, or sure is. I have an example here. I didn't write down. These both are from All Set Learning. I forgot to mention that this one is also from All Set Learning. I didn't write that there. The 今天又要加班了. 今天又要加班了. So that today we have to put in overtime again. So even though today might be like the end of, it might be in the future, it's saying it has come around again that we need to do, we have to do this again. We have this kind of complaining voice. 今天又要加班了. Or at least if not complaining, at least like surprised. 老板, and this is another example. 老板请客, 又可以吃大餐了. Now this is an excited one. 老板请客, the boss is treating us. The boss is footing the bill. 又可以吃大餐了. 又可以. So again, can eat big meal la. So this is actually talking about something that's happening in the future, but it's like the boss is treating, it has come around again that we can eat this huge meal la. We can like pick out la. So that is yo can also be used to talk about a state or something that's coming around again. And so it's not saying that the verb is happening again, but the situation, just kind of very similar to this. So those are some examples about that. One little thing, just for those who might be interested, 又来了. 又 means again, come 了. And this means, it can mean like, here you go again. It's kind of a a way to roll your eyes and be like, here he goes again, or here you go again. So if it's, if the boss is talking for a long time and droning on and on, you be, oh, 他又来了, or he 又来了, here he comes again. It's an interesting uses. It's kind of a set phrase. All right, there is 又 again. Hey, in this segment, we're going to talk about how to say something is happening at the same time that something else is happening. Two things are happening simultaneously. The basic idea is 一边 twice. So it's 一边 plus verb, 一边 plus verb. So it's the 边 by itself means side, and so 一边 is one side and another side. So if you think about two things happening simultaneously, one is on this side, one is on this side. So on one side, this is happening. On the other side, this is happening. That's the basic concept. So let me show you. Sometimes there's a comma used. Sometimes there is not, depending. If it's a shorter phrase, sometimes it's omitted. That kind of thing. Let me give you a few examples. 我朋友喜欢, my friend likes to, 一边看电视, 一边做作业. So 一边看电视 means to watch TV and while 一边做作业, doing homework. 做作业 means to do homework. So my friend likes to watch TV and do homework at the same time. 不要, this is another sentence. 不要, this is saying don't. 不要一边吃东西. Don't 一边 eat things. 一边说话 means to talk. So don't eat and talk at the same time. Don't eat and talk at the same time. Or don't talk while you're eating. And that is from All Set Learning. Another example is 很多人都一边上班一边玩手机. 很多人, many people, 都, remember that? 都 here doesn't mean all, but it serves to emphasize the large list of the number. 很多人都一边上班, work, 一边玩手机, at the same time play with their phone. So many people will play with their phone while they're working. And so that's from All Set Learning too. So I want to point out a little bit of a difference between this sentence, the 一边 structure, and the English phrase to do something while doing something else. I spent a good amount of time trying to understand this, talked with a friend, to see if when you have 一边, if one, either the first or the second, holds more weight or is the primary action versus the other. And then basically what it came down to is no, they can kind of be switched around. The point is that these two actions are happening at the same time, not necessarily that one is primary over the other. If you say, in English, if you use some of these can be translated with while, like don't talk while you're eating. The primary thing is eating, but you're not supposed to talk while doing that. Does that make sense? So one is like the thing that's happening, and the other one is the thing that's happening while that other thing is happening. But in Chinese, it's not like that. The point is that they're happening at the same time. So don't do this at the time that this is. I'm not saying that quite right, but they can be switched around. Also, this structure means that two active actions are happening at the same time or in the same time period, and that the same subject is doing them both. For example, while I was at home, I washed the dishes. While I was at home part is not an active action. It's sort of like a state, like I was in the state of home. So that it wouldn't work to say that. It's like you have to have two active actions. I also want to remind that, by the way, that you would use at 的时候, when I was home. 我在家的时候, something happened. I also want to remind you of a thing that we learned in HSK 2, and that is 这. And 这 also talks about a state, and this is a little different. So this says 我喜欢坐着洗碗. So it's different from 一边. Why? Because here, this is saying I like to sit while I wash dishes. Or I like to wash dishes being seated or something like that. So the reason this is not a simultaneous action thing like 一边 is because the idea is I'm washing dishes and the 坐着 is telling what kind of state I like to do this action in. And so, or how I like to do that action. So the primary thing is this, and this is kind of like describing the way or how I do that primary action. So there are cases where this can be translated while, but it's not the same as these two actions happening at the same time. I hope all that makes sense and clears things up for you. That's it for this video. You are doing a great job. Keep up the good work.